Hi everyone, you're watching my channel Concept Tech 2018 and this is part 4 in the video series of MOSFET. In this part, we are going to discuss the biasing circuit which is used in the MOS transistor and thus we'll do the DC analysis of the transistor circuit. Biasing is basically done to set up the operating point, or we call it Q point or quiescent point of a transistor. As we all know that the transistor can operate in different regions on characteristic curves like cutoff region or active region, and basically biasing makes transistor work at a specific point in a specific region for specific application. For that purpose, DC supply is given to the transistor. Additional components like resistors are connected to achieve specific DC voltage and current values. This DC condition is called the operating point, Q point or quiescent point. So, the biasing decides the region of operation of a transistor and thereby decides the application area of the transistor. For example, if we want to use transistor as an amplifier, we need to bias it in the active region. So, biasing circuit is mandatory for proper operation of the transistor for given application. This diagram shows the characteristic curves of enhancement type NMOS. You can see from the figure that MOSFET characteristic curves can be divided into three regions based on its behavior. The first region is the cutoff region. When no gate signal is applied, there is no channel for the current flow, and so output current is 0. And so the transistor is said to be in cutoff region and acts as a open switch. Next is the triode region. When the gate to source voltage is above threshold, VGS is above threshold, that is when the channel is ready for the current flow and we apply VDS, then drain current increases with increase in VDS. That is the triode region. Now when we go on increasing VDS, a situation comes when the channel is pinched off. That is, the channel becomes 0 at the drain end and thus further increase in VDS does not increase drain current. And this region is called the saturation region. In this particular region, the output current is independent of output voltage and it only depends on the input voltage, that is VGS. That is the ideal condition basically. And so the transistor can be used as an amplifier in this particular region. So this region is also termed as active region, analogous to BJT. The basis for the application of the MOSFET in amplifier design is that when the device is operated in the saturation region, or we call it active region, a voltage controlled current source is realized. That is, the voltage between gate to source, that is VGS, controls the drain current ID according to square law relationship shown here. And from this expression, we can conclude that MOSFET is a transconductance amplifier. So how do we convert this transconductance amplifier into voltage amplifier? The simplest way is to pass the output current through a resistor and take the voltage across this resistor as the output. When we do this for a MOSFET, it results in the amplifier circuit as shown in this figure. Here you can observe that VGS is the input voltage, RD drain resistance is the load resistance, and this load resistance converts the drain current to drain voltage, which is equal to ID into RD. VDD is the supply voltage, powers up the amplifier, and together with this drain resistance establishes operation in the active region. We can say that this RD and VDD is a part of biasing circuit. We'll discuss the biasing circuits in the coming slides. Now you see the second figure which is drawn between VDS and VGS. This is called voltage transfer characteristic. And you can observe here that when VGS is less than the threshold voltage, we know that the transistor is off, the drain current is 0, and so the drain to source voltage or the output voltage is equal to VDD. The MOSFET is operating in saturation or active region, then this VDS continuously decreases as we increase the VGS value. When VGS goes on increasing, when it becomes greater at point B, greater enough to make VDS lower than VGS by VT volts, then we reach to triode region where this VDS decreases more slowly. So the segment of greatest slope is from A to B. This corresponds to the active region, and when MOSFET is operated in this region from A to B, it is amplifying. So we need to set operating point in this particular region. We have to confine it in between A and B, and for that purpose we need a biasing circuit which will make this transistor useful as an amplifier. So an essential step in the design of a transistor amplifier is the establishment of an appropriate DC operating point, and this step is called the biasing or the bias designing. This aims to establish the drain current which is predictable, first thing, and secondly it is insensitive to variation in temperature, to variation in parameter values between devices of the same type. A second consideration in bias design is we have to locate DC operating point such that the required output swing in the transistor will not leave the active region at any time. That is, the transistor remains in active region for all values of the output voltage. So, the responsibility of the biasing circuit is to locate in such a way that the output swing never crosses the active region and stabilize against the variation in temperature or variation in parametric values. The different biasing circuits which are used in MOSFET are, the first is we bias by fixing VGS. Secondly, we fix VGS plus connect a resistance in the source. And third is we use a drain to gate feedback resistance. The first and most straightforward approach is fixing the value of VGS. The circuit here shows is a voltage divider biasing circuit. We can use dual supply circuit as well. So here what we are doing is we are fixing gate to source voltage to the value required to provide desired drain current. As told you earlier, we can use alternate methods also to get fixed value of VGS. This fixed biasing circuit which we discussed in the last slide, it is not a preferred method, it's not a good technique. The reason is you can see the expression of the drain current, the threshold voltage Vt, the oxide capacitance Cox, and the aspect ratio W by L. All these parameters, they vary widely among devices of the same size and type. Additionally, Vt and mu n, they depends on the temperature. So when we fix VGS, changes in other parameters results in large variation in the drain current. So drain current varies between devices. You can see the graph here. What does that mean? If I design a circuit for a particular device, taking into consideration all the parameters of the device, I fix all the values, the resistance values, VDD value, and if I change the device and use another transistor of the same size, parametric variations, the values like mu n Cox or W by L or the threshold voltage, they vary from device to device, the drain current changes. And the focus of biasing circuit is to locate Q point and stabilize it against the parametric variation. And you can observe from the curve that there is a large variation in the drain current from device to device. This is the reason this technique is not used at all. So what do? We do fix VGS as we did before, but we use one more resistance here in the source lead, that is RS. This is the second method of biasing. Two circuits are shown here. First is the voltage divider circuit which uses only one power supply, and second circuit uses two different power supplies for input and output circuits. You can observe here the gate voltage VG is equal to VGS plus IDRS. Now RS is providing negative feedback to stabilize the drain current. VG is constant, that is it is fixed using the two resistances and VDD value. So when there is any increase in drain current due to temperature variation or device parameters variation, increase in ID will reduce VGS automatically because VG is constant, and thereby it will reduce the drain current. If there is a reduction in drain current, VGS will increase and it will increase drain current. So it is kind of a compensation circuit for drain current variation using the negative feedback in the source lead of the transistor. Now compared to the first case, here the variability which is obtained in the drain current is much smaller, and as we increase the value of Vg and Rs, the variability decreases. You can observe here the device characteristics. Here we have ID VGS characteristics for two devices which represent the extremes of a batch of MOSFETs, and superimposed on these device characteristic is a straight line which represents the constraint imposed by the biasing circuit. Now the intersection of this line with this curve gives the biasing point, basically the Q point. Now observe here that compared to the case, the first case of fixed VGS, the variability is much smaller. When we increase RS, the bias line becomes less steep, so the variation becomes smaller. Now here is one mathematical example. We have this voltage divider circuit and RS, and these are the equations of different voltages and currents here. You can see here the gate voltage Vg will be equal to R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VDD, because R1, R2 are forming the voltage divider circuit, and the voltage across the 18 mega ohms, that is R2, is the gate voltage. VGS, we know it will be equal to Vg minus IDRS, and VDS, drain to source voltage, will be equal to VDD minus ID into RS plus RD. Okay. Now we can calculate the value of Vg here, putting the values of R2, R1 and R2 and VDD. It gives us a value of 18 volts. Now if you want to calculate the value of VGS, it will be Vg minus IDRS. So it will be 18 volts minus ID into the value of the RS, that is 0.82 kilo ohms. If we make the drain current 0, then we get maximum value of VGS. Similarly, when we make VGS 0, we get the maximum value of the drain current. So we have with us ID max and VGS max. What does that mean? This characteristic curve is plotted using these values given here in blue, the threshold voltage and the drain current and all. Here we have two extreme points, one for VGS when drain current is 0, that is equal to 18 volts, and one for maximum drain current when VGS is 0, that is equal to 21.95 milliamps, and we draw a DC load line using these two values, and when the DC load line crosses the characteristic curve at a point, and that point is called the Q point. Coming to the third type of biasing circuit, drain to gate feedback resistor. This is the circuit here. So basically this RG resistance is added between drain terminal and the gate terminal, and this resistor again works as a feedback resistor similar to the previous source resistance. This feedback resistance has a large value, and so it forces the DC voltage at the gate to be equal to that of the drain. VGS and VDS, they are equal because the gate current IG is 0, so there is no voltage drop across the resistance RG, and we get all these equations here. VDS is VDD minus IDRD, so VGS being equal to VDS, it will also be equal to VDD minus IDRD. This shows the Q point. And how do we reach to Q point? If we are given the characteristic curve, then we just calculate the maximum current, maximum voltage point, and we join these 2 points. This line is called DC load line, and the point at which DC load line intersects with the curve is the Q point, operating point, or it gives us the IDQ and VGSQ. By changing the values of these resistances and VDD, we can shift the Q point here and there. So either we can put it in active region or cutoff region. You see, ID will be equal to VDD by RD, and VGS will be equal to VDD when ID is 0. We have studied 3 biasing circuits here, and we can conclude that biasing is basically done to locate and stabilize the operating point. For biasing, we use resistors and power supply in the transistor circuit. Most commonly used biasing circuits in MOSFET are voltage divider biasing and feedback biasing. In voltage divider biasing, we use RS as bias resistor, and in feedback biasing, we use RG for feedback. Thereby, we achieve the required Q point value. I hope you have understood how and why bicycle circuits are used. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel Concept Tech 2018 for more such videos, and keep watching this series to know more about the MOS technology. Thank you so much.